Great to see such a good turnout of fellow Australians today, concerned about the state of things in our country. I like to try and keep my time brief up here. Brief, factual, and not emotionally driven, and using my time to debunk a few misconceptions about who I am, who we are at Reclaim, and what Islam is. Firstly, who I am. My name is Brad. I am a brother and a father, an uncle, a husband, a son and a Queenslander, and a Cowboy supporter too. I spent years in the mining industry as a fitter, sailed yachts, raced cars, hunted and fished in 5 states, and lived an average Aussie lifestyle in the country that I love. In that time, I've always been keen to keep an eye on politics at home and abroad, and any other matter around the globe with any significance, like world wars, religion, environment, local happenings and the law. And now my new passion is the religion of peace they call Islam. Female genital mutilation, slavery, cut your head off in the streets, Islam is what I'm talking about. The religion of peace, if you do as your book commands you to, and I quote, Quran 3:29, God does not love the unbelievers. Yeah. Now on that subject, I am an atheist, and I have that choice in our society. I live among Jews, Christians, Sikhs and many others peacefully with no threat of persecution. Quran 3, quote again, Quran 3:121, guard yourself against the fire, prepare for the unbelievers. And that's why I'm here today, standing amongst equals, standing fast against tyranny on the horizon. And I invoke all of you out there to first educate yourselves. Don't just take my word for it. Read some books, watch some documentaries, talk to people, get involved. Arm yourself with knowledge and turn your frustration to the state and federal members. Take it to the polling booths and show your government you have had enough. So that's me. Now on Reclaim. Are we bigots?
No.
Are we bigots? Are we racists?
No.
Islam is not a race. As our esteemed colleagues have already pointed out. I don't know how many times I've got to say it. Islam is not a race. And as a lot of you might have seen on the Channel 7 program Sunday, back on the 18th of October. Did anyone see that program? Yeah, if you haven't, go on YouTube, it's on there, have a look, it's bloody awesome. Debunked all the rumours, which was great. We're mums and dads, brothers and sisters, and we are fed up with our government selling us off with their political correctness. With our free speech being undermined, with the left and their cuddles and kisses bloody mentality, and I bet they change their tune when their daughters are being raped and sent to jail for their bloody trouble. Racist. How dare they call us racist? Exactly. 2 of our own committee members are actually married to Asian women. I myself, I have 3 Indigenous staff working for me. I have Asian, Indigenous, Germans, Poms, Indians and many other nationalities as my friends and have done so for some time with flourishing friendships. Reclaim is against Islam, against mass immigration from Islamic countries, the right to free speech, protecting our way of life, and for me personally, it's about starting dialogue with our leaders and Islamic leaders to reform Islam. It needs reform, because as it stands, it cannot have any place in our society whatsoever.
Here.
There's a lot of other scholars out there that are more educated than I am that are calling for the exact same thing. A reform of Islam. It just cannot be as it is. Now on to my favourite topic, Islam. Now I'll quote, first of all, does anyone know the first words of the Bible?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, well done. Does anyone know the first words of the Quran?
He gives a shit. He gives a fuck.
First words of the Quran are actually, this book is not to be doubted. This book is not to be doubted. And remember that. Remember that as I'll recite some of the Quran to you. Now, I haven't gone that far into it, and you don't need to go that far to see all the good stuff that's in there. Quran 2:86, give us glory over the unbelievers. 2:49, Lord, fill our hearts with steadfastness, make us firm of foot, and help us against the unbelievers. Many of them. It just carries on and on. 2:22. Women, this is for you ladies out there. Women are your fields. Go then into your fields whence you please. 2:207. Fighting is obligatory for you. 189, sorry, and my favourite. Slay them wherever you find them. Drive them out of the places from which they drove you. Idolatry is more grievous than bloodshed. But do not fight them within the holy mosque unless they attack you there. If they attack you, slay them. Thus shall the unbelievers be requited. Unreal.
Very peaceful.
Yeah, very peaceful. Yeah. The religion of peace. God has power over all things, and that is emulated on every page. God is this, God is that. He's the best. Just brainwashing people.
5 times a day.
Yes, exactly. God has power. This is a great one. Let not believers take infidels as their friends. So if you think you've got a Muslim mate, you really don't. There's a lot of literature out there about that as well. God does not love the unbelievers. I shall cleanse you of the unbelievers. He has made you pure and exalted you above womankind. Just keeps going on and on. Guard yourself against the fire and prepare for the unbelievers. So that's only a small snippet of around 30 pages of a 400-page book. And there's a lot more of that kind of stuff in there, but that gives you an idea. Now, did anyone know that Muhammad is the perfect man? And the Quran tells Muslims repeatedly to emulate him. Does anyone know that?
Pedophile.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep, he's the man. He's a champ. Okay. The same man that after the Battle of the Trench, and this is all factual, after the Battle of the Trench, made Jewish soldiers dig their own graves and then sat with his 12-year-old bride all day and watched 800 of the soldiers being beheaded. What a top bloke that bloke is. The same man that married a child of 6 years old, and consummated the marriage at age 9. Basically, for Islam and Muslims, there is one God, and Muhammad is his prophet, spoken to him by the angel Gabriel. And that's it. The word of God is infallible and must be obeyed. And this leaves no room for coexistence with other religions and cultures. Convert, die, or become a dhimmi, or a slave to Islam. That's the options. Now, there are some Islamic countries that aren't like that, of course. Indonesia is one of them. But the words inside this book leave it open to extremism.
What about West Papua?
Yeah, they're copping and flogging. West Papua.
From the Indonesians, mate?
Yeah, for sure. West lady down here's just asked about West Papua. You get him? Poor buggers are copping and flogging.
And then when they're totally taken over there, they're going to head into New Guinea, maybe?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they're all a good mob. I'll try not to swear anymore. Indonesia's one of it. The words inside this book leave it open to extremism, jihad, slavery, and the stripping away of women's rights under Sharia law. So now I don't want to bang on up here too much longer. I think you great patriots have heard enough about the ideological cult they call Islam. I hope it's sort of open a few people's eyes on what it's all about, what it all means. A lot of you probably already know. But I do implore everyone, and every one of you, to do your own research and know the truth. And in closing, I would like to read a speech from a past leader, and we'll see if anyone can pick it out. Who wrote this speech? How dreadful are the curses which Mohammedanism lies on its votaries. Besides the fanatical frenzy, which is as dangerous in a man as hydrophobia in a dog. There you go. Churchill. There is this fearful, fatalistic apathy. The effects are apparent in many countries. Improvident habits, slovenly systems of agriculture, sluggish methods of commerce, and insecurity of property exist everywhere, wherever the followers of the prophet rule or live. A degraded sensualism deprives this life of its grace and refinement, the next of its dignity and sanctity. The fact that in Mohammedan law, every woman must belong to a man as his absolute property, either as a child, a wife, or a concubine, must delay the final extinction of slavery until the faith of Islam has ceased to be a great power among men. Individual Muslims may show splendid qualities, but the influence of the religion paralyses the social development of those who follow it. No stronger retrograde force exists in the world. Far from being moribund, Mohammedanism is a militant and proselytising faith. It has already spread throughout Central Africa, raising fearless warriors at every step. And were it not that Christianity is sheltered in the strong arms of science, the science against which it had vainly struggled, the civilization of modern Europe might fall, as fell the civilizations of modern Rome, ancient Rome. That's Winston Churchill, 1899.
There is.
That's about it for me. I do thank everybody for coming out. That's a bloody good turnout. Probably 300 strong.
Yeah.
Good on you. Aussie. Go the Cowboys.